you know what, kids? I think it's time that we sat down and had a little talk about your man thing. No, this isn't that awkward birds and the bees talk that your parents tried to give you back in the day. No, this is a movie, and it's a movie based on The Man Thing, which is a Swamp Thing ripoff from the 70s and 80s Marvel comics. They did there was a comic called The Man Thing. The Man Thing. I always thought that was a weird name, don't you? Anyway, I like to think that I've seen pretty much every Marvel movie there is out there. I mean, I'm not talking just MCU, I'm talking like all Marvel movies. I've seen The Trial of the Incredible Hulk, 1990 Captain America, Dolph Lundgren's Punisher, Daredevil. But The Man Thing. Okay, so his comic, I don't know if it was really all that successful. I always thought it was kind of dumb, but they were sure pushing him in those crossover comics like Marvel Team Up. Marvel 2-in-1 #1 actually features The Thing versus The Man Thing. Thing versus Thing. How crazy is that, man? Anyway, I didn't even know this movie existed until, a couple of years ago. I'd heard of it, and I was like, that's a pretty obscure property, and it's not a great comic, but I wonder what they would do with it. Like, I wonder what they would do with this character and this concept of the Man Thing. Well, the Man Thing's like a swamp creature, some guy that's transformed via whatever reasons into this like swamp creature that is part of the living swamp, and it's like Swamp Thing. You know, you've seen Swamp Thing, right? I mean, Swamp Thing was a way better comic, but I'll be honest, Man Thing is a better movie than the Swamp Thing movies that I've seen. It's not amazing. It's a pretty entertaining movie. Made in 2005. It's 105 minutes long. So it's not a huge time investment. Like, I was going into this thinking this is going to be low budget, it's going to suck. I mean, the Man Thing is like a character, who cares? Like, oh, it happens to do with Marvel Comics. Well, woo, yippee-doo. But it's not what I expected for whatever reason. It's actually like a horror movie. Yeah, that's an early 2000s horror movie, kind of like something like, Cabin Fever or The Grudge. Something like that, and that's how it came off to me anyway. I was expecting it to be more superhero-y for whatever dumb reason, but it's not. It's more like a horror movie. It's a lot of people die in this movie, and they die in like super gruesome ways, and the practical effects, like the gore effects and that sort of thing, are really cool. And the Man Thing monster, who's like the living swamp, and he's part of the swamp, and the way they do that here, it's actually a pretty interesting concept. And let me say, the acting in this, I mean, the two leads are whatever. Like, I mean, the lead actor in here, he's like a sheriff or whatever. He's like this young guy that gets transferred to this Louisiana town, this swamp town or whatever. There's been all these people have died, and he's got to investigate, and he's got to get to know the locals and stuff, and it's like, listen here, boy, you don't know what it's like down here in the swamp and whatever. And the actor's name is Matthew Lenevez. I don't know how you pronounce that. Forgive me if I'm wrong. He's not super exciting in this, but he's okay. The female lead is Rachel Taylor, who I swear to God I've seen in a bunch of stuff, but I can't remember what. She's a little over the top and a little cheesy in this, but then there's like the powerful business owner, the guy that runs the oil rigs that are drilling in the swamp and whatever. I mean, even he's okay. I mean, the acting's fine. The acting is fine. And the CGI, let's talk about that. I mean, like the CGI of the Man Thing monster. Like, for the most part, it's like practical effects of all of like gore and what the Man Thing does to all these people. But then at the very end, you get to see the Man Thing, and it's okay. I mean, this is 2005. I'm not expecting a lot. I'm not expecting Revenge of the Sith, which was the same year. Like, obviously, it's not going to be that level of CGI. But you only really get to see the monster in the very end, like most good horror movies, right? Like, I mean, it's pretty gory. Like, you know, like the bodies that the guy has to examine, and the kills. There's a bunch of kill scenes. So it's like it's totally like a horror movie. It's not a superhero movie at all. And it was pretty fun to watch. I mean, it was interesting. I was kind of like I was drawn in by these weird ass characters. Everybody in this swamp town is just fucked up. Like the crazy swamp brothers, redneck swamp brothers, and even the local people in town. There's like another guy that's like this conspiracy theorist, and he has like crazy attack dogs with him all the time, and everybody ends up dead except for the sheriff and the like ridiculously hot hippie protester lady. At the very end, they're the only ones to see the monster, and everybody else is dead. Like every other character in this movie dies except for those two. So, horror movie. Bunch of people die. It's pretty gory. And it also has that reference back to a comic book. So this is a win, in my opinion. I mean, I was going to give it a C+, because I was like, well, it's not like it's a good movie. Like, it's pretty, shit, whatever. But you know what? I'm going to give this, I'm going to go on a limb. Get it? Limb. Because, like, swamp and, like, trees and shit. I'm going to go out on a limb and give The Man Thing a B-. It's definitely a B movie, but it is solid. If you've never seen this before, you might like it, especially if you like early 2000s horror movies. Yeah, there's some jump scares. There's those like quick cuts and the crazy edited like a Rob Zombie video kind of sequences, but overall it worked for me. So B-. Yeah, so in the future I may flip-flop between DVD and VHS and whatever. It depends on the movie. It depends what I watch. And I kind of like the freedom of being able to do both now. No matter what format I find myself talking about in the future. I hope you enjoy these videos. If you like it, please, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment if you like. And we'll see you on the next one. Have a good one, everybody.